Hello everybody, Jimmy's Promo here. I'm going to show you guys the brand new Samsung Galaxy S5. But I am going to start this video off with two little disclaimers. Number one, this phone is not waterproof, it is actually water resistant. The IP rating is IP67. The first number is 6, dealing with dust and things like that, which this is actually dust proof. But in terms of the second number, the highest number you get is an 8. This is rated a 7, which means for water, up to 30 minutes, up to 3 feet. Now in terms of that, you have to make sure that your port on the bottom is plugged in all the way. The other thing is making sure that your back is on and sealed tightly. So there is actually kind of a moat looking thing around the electronics to the point where the rubber from the back of the case will actually plug in inside of that moat. So none of that water and intrusion actually gets into where the electronics are at. Everything else is perfectly fine, the head jack and everything like that. Now, the second disclaimer is talking about the charge port on the bottom. It's just like the Samsung Galaxy Note 3. And just so you guys know, it is USB 3.0, which means the data transfer from the phone to the computer or computer to the phone is much quicker. This is the normal charger that comes with it. When you plug it on in, then you're going to see that the other side actually has a blue end. This blue end goes into the blue port on your computer. The other thing is that, yes, you are able to use a normal micro USB. So if you don't know where your USB 3.0 is at, just take the normal micro USB that is closest to you and then plug it on in. Now, this phone is extremely impressive with its screen resolution and quality, and then also just everything else that it has, a 2.5 quad-core processor, but if you're in other countries, it may be the octa-core, but I'm not going to get into that. I'm going to show you guys how this phone works. So one of the things you may notice is on the bottom where the back button and actually where the used to be menu button is, it's actually going to be the recent apps. So when you click on recent apps, what it's going to do is it's going to show you everything else that you've been in. But I'll tell you what, it takes you into everything extremely quick. And if you still want it to act as if the menu button, just press and hold on that and you're still getting your menu. And if you don't care about pressing and holding, you'll actually see in every application where there is a menu button option, you just hit on the menu button on the very top. So you'd be able to hit all the different settings and things like that. Other than that, when you press and hold on the very bottom left-hand side, this is where you'd be able to edit all your different home screens, add more, delete, change them around, put different widgets, things like that. If you were to press and hold on the home button, this will actually take you into Google Now, and it is not the recent apps anymore. Now, what I would want to start off as is going to be the camera, as I always do. So let's head into the camera and see how this thing does. On the very top, if yours looks a little bit different than mine, that's actually because I added in and moved around some of these settings on the very top. So you go to the settings option on the very upper left-hand side. This is where it says the picture size, the burst shot, and things like that. So video size, you'd be able to do Ultra HD if you would like, or you can keep it as the full HD. And then if you want to move some of these around, just press and hold, and you can take them down if you wanted to. But if you wanted the flash to be back up on the top, you can just move it all the way back up to the top. For the effects, it's not going to be on the left-hand side anymore with the caret. It's actually just going to be right here. And this is where you'd be able to do it. And yes, it is live still. And there's actually even more you'd be able to download if there's different effects you want to do. So one of the things, let's go into the modes first. So what you're going to see right away is you're going to have the auto, beauty face, shot and more. And actually shot and more is a combination of 5 shooting modes into one, to where you'd be able to change which shooting mode you would want after you take the photo. Then here's panorama. Virtual tour is basically kind of like the Google Street mode, to where you can go from different street to different street, things like that. It's the exact same. You can go straight, left, and right, and things like that. And then dual camera as well. So you can take pictures or video using the front-facing and the rear-facing camera at the exact same time. Now, when you go down here, you're going to notice that there's a few other options you'd be able to do. Again, you may not have some of these. It's only because some of them were downloaded with the download option. So animated photo, sound and shot, sports, and surround shot. These were all on the other device, Note 3, GS4, things like that. But because Samsung has a lot of different options you'd be able to do on their phones, they didn't want to take up all the space in your phone, so this is where they put it into the download option, which is going to make a lot of people happy. So when you go to Shot and More, what's going to happen, you go into Shot and More, you hit on the little camera button, boom, it's going to actually take pictures for the next about 5 seconds, and then what it's going to do is it's going to process it, and then you'll be able to choose how you want it to come out. Either a panning shot, eraser, drama shot, best face, or best photo. So let's actually go into the gallery here real quick, and let me show you a couple examples of that. So I'm going to go to gallery, and I'm going to head into the camera button here, And here is an example of shot and more. And let me flip this around to show you guys what this looks like. So that right there is an icon saying that you did it in shot and more. It's going to tell you how you'd be able to do it. Touch on the screen, go to edit picture, and then this is where you'd be able to choose it. So with shot and more, like I said, you have 5 different options, 5 different shooting modes you'd be able to choose. So the first one, let's do best photo. So what's going to happen is it's going to put a little crown next to the picture that it thinks is best. If you don't think that's the best one, just uncheck it, move on over, find the one or the several that you like, and then all of those that are crowned will be the ones that you save. Hit the save button, they're saved. If not, all you got to do is just hit the little X and then discard it. Now, best face did not appear as an option just because there wasn't many faces to choose from. So if you're out in the crowd, or your boyfriends and girlfriends and everybody and your buddies and everybody's all out and you're taking pictures, then you'll be able to have a pretty good option with best photo and also the best faces. So drama shot. Now this one's really cool because you'd be able to edit it even after the fact. So if there is a different photo that you want to add in there, all you got to do is just touch the button and there you go. So if you want to add another person in there, you'd be able to. And so let's go over here. I can add another person over there, which actually that one doesn't look good. So let's put it right there and then boom. So now you'd be able to have several different people in the exact same photo, hit save, and there you go. Let's go back to discard that. Here is eraser shot. So if I'm here and taking a picture of this scenery and then some random person comes walking on in and ruins the photo or photobombs it, just hit on the minus button and they're gone. So let's go back, hit X, discard. And here is panning shot. So if something is being moving in the screen, it's going to actually blur out the very back and then just kind of give a pretty cool effect. You also have like a different, you can select to erase them. Here is a motion blur, so if you want the blur to happen in a different area or a different angle, you can. So that is shot and more. Now the other feature that you have in terms of taking pictures is going to be dealing with selective focus. So selective focus, when you select it, it's an icon that has 2 people, one that's near and one that's far. So after you take the photo in selective focus, you touch on that little image, and so now, right now is focused on the near, but not the far. If I switch it on over to far, it's going to make this unfocused, then that is now focused. Pan focus is everything. So I'm pretty sure you guys will be able to see the difference. Here is focus for near, and here's the focus for far. That is a really cool feature. The only other camera that I know that has done that was the Lytro camera, which was something that I've wanted, but now it's actually built into the Galaxy S5. Totally pleased with. Now when you are inside of your gallery of all the different pictures that you have taken, there is actually the menu button on the upper right hand side. Again, you can also use the recent app button. And when you go up there and you click on Studio, this is where you'd be able to edit some of the pictures that you take. So you can look at everything that's in the photo studio. You can do a collage of all the different photos, and you can change the layout and how big and the different colors and the different borders. Shot and more, it shows all the different shot and mores that you've done. Video clip studio, and you also have a video trimmer. So this one's actually really small, but when you're looking in the gallery and you have all the different albums over here and it's showing you some of the previews of the different photos, one of the things you'd be able to do is you'd be able to move left and right to where you'd be able to see the different format and the layout of how everything looks. The thing that's actually pretty cool is when you move it over, if you were to minimize it a little bit more, it's going to shrink all the pictures. When you zoom in, it's going to make it bigger again. And then let's say that you wanted to zoom in on a photo and look at it, you'd be able to actually pinch and zoom to where you can make it bigger, then pinch to zoom to make it smaller, and you don't actually have to hit the back button. Toolbox is a great addition to the Samsung Galaxy S5. All you got to do is go to the notifications panel, scroll over all the way to the right. This is where you'd be able to see Toolbox. If for some reason you don't see it up on the top, pull down the notifications bar with 2 fingers and then just turn it on. So Toolbox is basically a widget that's going to stay with you in all of the screens that you go to. And what it is it's showing you your 5 main applications that you love the most. When you first get the phone, obviously it's not going to be your main 5. But all you got to do to change that is go into where it says Toolbox, press and hold on the setting, then now you'd be able to change the applications. The maximum number you can have is 5. So if I try to add another one, it's not going to work. The only way you'd be able to change one of these around is to uncheck and then add another one. So this is something that's great if there's 5 applications used all the time, and then you'd be able to get it at any point in time. If you want to turn it off, basically you just got to turn off the setting of Toolbox. Download Booster is a setting on your phone that you got to turn on, and what it does is it actually uses the Wi-Fi and LTE at the exact same time to download anything bigger than 30 megabytes. So it's not going to be used on the Play Store or the Samsung App Store or nothing like that. Basically, it's for your albums and movies that you start downloading on your device. So just as you guys know, some carriers may have this, some carriers may not, and other countries have it, other countries do not. So as of right now in the United States, if there is certain carriers that do not have it, my hopes is that in the future you'll actually see this update come through to where you would be able to download any large files using LTE and Wi-Fi at the exact same time, referred to as Download Booster. So in terms of appearance and how the phone kind of looks and moves around, you're going to notice that a couple things have changed, and I do like the new TouchWiz that Samsung put in here. The folders is not a little circle carousel thing. It's actually a real folder that you'd be able to change the color, move everything around. So if you want it to be brown or green, purple, things like that, you'd be able to. Also, when you pull down the notifications bar, you're going to notice that it looks a little different. You can also do it with 2 fingers still, so you get all of the different settings all in one. And when you head into, here's a little pencil for you to edit it, but let's say we go back a little bit and we go into where it says the settings. This is now images, which makes things much easier, at least my opinion anyways. And if you want it to look like the older devices, you do tab view. You can also do list view as well. Or you can edit the quick settings, so then you can see which ones are on the extremely top that you'd be able to go to quick. But you can only have 12, that is maximum. So what I'm talking about in terms of notifications, or the notifications bar in terms of settings, these are the ones that I'm talking about. So there's 12 on the top. If there's ones that you want to move around, you can. You can also do it through here with the pencil, and you can move them around this way as well too. So just FYI, you'd be able to edit this and change it all around. Alright, so here is Ultra Power Saving Mode. And so what Ultra Power Saving Mode does is it actually puts your phone into a black and gray scale to the point where it's going to save you a ton of battery just with that alone. The other thing is it's actually going to be limiting the application usage, as well as turning off your mobile data and turning off the Wi-Fi's and Bluetooths. So let's put this thing in the Ultra Power Saving Mode for you guys. And just so you guys know, the best way I can explain this is going to be using it as an active airplane mode. Meaning, when you put this thing in airplane mode, it turns off everything. But what it does is, if someone was to send me a text message, or if I was to send a text message, it'll turn on my mobile data for about the 3 or 4 or 5 seconds to actually send it or receive it, but then turn it right back off. Same thing with phone and browser. Also, right here, it says 69%, which means I'll be able to get 8.6 days, which is amazing. With the plus icons, touch the plus icon. This is where you'd be able to add more text or more applications to that list you'd be able to use. I wouldn't do chat on or Facebook, especially Twitter, just because it's not, you don't want to have it pull and push all these different things. The purpose of Ultra Power Saving Mode is if you're down to, let's say, 10%, it'll last you 24 hours, which technically it'll probably last you more than that if you were just to have it be standalone. But if you're using the phone and the messages and the browser a ton, it will last you the 24 hours. The other thing is that you'll notice I have a couple of my settings still open, to the point where you go into settings and you'll be able to change if you want Wi-Fi, your brightness, the sound, location, and things like that to still be turned on inside of here. So if you wanted to get out, you hit on the menu and go to Disable Ultra Power Saving Mode. So again, use Ultra Power Saving Mode if you're down at the 10% range. It'll last you 24 hours. It's basically an active airplane mode. So for the kids mode, this is something that I love because it's not just an application, it's actually more or less like a launcher. What you're going to notice is there's an alligator. You touch it, you'd be able to actually change the clothes, do whatever, put some boots on, get some shoes, some heels, some flats, whatever. You can change the color, make it pink if you wanted to. But anyways, you get the point. So they'd be able to touch anything. I would say this is perfect for anybody that's 6 years or under. And you'd actually be able to add applications to it. So 2048 is added. And here's a little present. What the present means is that I either added an application or I downloaded an application. And you touch it, and then it's like, oh my gosh, awesome. So the kids can be crazy happy, and there's a new game they'd be able to play. Drawing, this is where they'd be able to draw. You got a pencil, a paintbrush, and eraser. You're able to change the colors, things like that. The mic, this is where that little alligator that's over here, or crocodile, what it's going to do is be able to speak back what the kid is to say. Unless if you don't want it for the kids, you can use it for yourself. It's actually pretty entertaining. Here is the pictures and the video taken with the camera. And again, when you go inside of the camera, the thing that's cool, I'll actually just show you guys here. Down on the very bottom left-hand side, you're going to see this little button. If they are taking a picture of your face or anything like that, they can put little googly eyes on you, sunglasses, a bandit, you know, a little thing that goes over the eyes, a hat, beards, mustaches, rain, and then also watermelons and things like that. So it actually forms to the face, so then they can actually make some really cool photos. Now, on the very bottom right-hand side, you're going to notice, this is the most important part, parental control. When you go inside of parental control, you got to type in your password. So then this way you'd be able to set up their account. You can see how long they've played. You go into activity. Activity is where it usually is. The name up here is going to be in terms of the profile. You're going to have daily limit for the playtime. So if you wanted to turn it on and you only want them to play for, say, 25 minutes or 20 minutes in the day, there you go. Upper left-hand side, you can go to applications, and then this is where you'd be able to add more applications to the list if you wanted to. And so right now, this shows the ones that I've added, and you just go to plus, so you'd be able to add more applications for them to be able to use. Media, this is going to be any of the media that you would like your kid to watch. So if there's videos of them, you could put the inside of media. General, and then also Kids Store. So basically, Kids Store is going to be talking about like different and new applications you'd be able to get to either purchase or have for free. So when you go back here, this is the little exit button. So this is where you want to type in your password. The thing that's awesome about this is that it's actually more of a launcher than it is an application. Meaning, when I've tested this right here, I turned off the phone, I reset the phone, and I also pulled the battery and put it back in. It still went to this launcher. The only way you'd be able to get out is to type in your password. So make sure if you guys are setting this up, you know the exact password that you're going to need to get out. The heart rate sensor is actually located on the back of the device, and so one of the ways you'd be able to head on in there is if you look at the S Health widget, you can actually hit on the heart icon, or you can actually go into the application itself, and then what you're going to do is actually just place your finger on the back of the device underneath the camera, which is right here. Just place your finger on top of there, and just so you guys know, make sure when you place it on there, don't place it sideways like this, make sure you go up and down. So I'm going to put it up and down, and it says for you to actually be quiet and to be still. And so normal ambient sound around, people talking is fine, but nothing too crazy, explosively loud. And there we go. So this is where you'd be able to test your heart rate. The fingerprint scanner is located not only a little bit on the home screen, but also the home button. So how you activate it and turn it on, you're going to pull down the notifications bar, hit on the settings icon, scroll down to where it says the finger scanner, head on in there, and these are some of the features of it. Number one, you can unlock your phone, which right now mine is set to auto lock. You also have the verify Samsung account along with the pay with PayPal. So when you go inside of here, you're going to go to fingerprint manager, and then you're going to actually go inside of there, which right now mine, I had to do my fingerprint to actually get into there. But you're actually going to notice that you can do up to 3 fingerprints. So I have my pointer finger and also my thumb. And just so you guys know from personal experience, the thumb actually works a little bit better than my pointer finger just because there's a little bit more pad to my thumb than the pointer finger. So let's just do this with my middle finger here. So you're going to go to add, and right here it's talking about how you're able to do the fingerprint lock as well as verify Samsung account and pay with the fingerprint through PayPal. So what it's showing you on here is that you want to start on the screen and you want to make sure you finish all the way off through the home screen or through the home button. So you're going to put it on there and then swipe right on over. And then as you notice, the very first one is going to be blue, and as it goes through, it's going to recognize your middle finger or whichever finger or thumb you're using more and more and more, for which the more green it gets, the more recognized it does. If you start too high, it's not going to recognize it, so try to remember exactly where you are when you start it, just so you know. So now I'm actually able to unlock my phone with the pointer finger. I'm also able to do it with the thumb or my middle finger as well. So as you can tell, the pointer finger didn't get it right away, but the thumb did. So just a little tip. So here is the one-handed operation. So one-handed operation was introduced on the Samsung Galaxy Note 3 in terms of the new style to where you just swipe in and swipe out on the left or right-hand side of the phone. And so some people may think that this phone is still actually pretty big. So if you think it is, just go to one-handed operation, turn it on, and then actually what's going to happen is when you swipe in and swipe out, it'll actually be able to put it into a one-handed operation for you. You can make this bigger and smaller. Here's your home button. the recent app button, as well as back, volume down, and volume up as well too. The coolest things as well is that on the very upper left hand side you're going to see that little icon. That is where it can make it huge. The contact icon is the last 4 persons you have been in contact with, as well as the last 4 or 5 applications, looks like 4 applications that you have used previously. Samsung has also added in there, inside of the TouchWiz, which is something that I love, is that let's say that you use an application and you set it as a default. There's actually a one button pressed where you go to default applications, and now you can choose which launcher you're using, which video player you use, because it is an Android where you can download multiple different players and things like that. As well as if you use browser or Chrome and you actually accidentally set one of those to be a default, now you can actually switch it to the other, just hit clear, and now you're back to normal and square one. This is a setting referred to as Quick Connect. So some devices actually has Quick Connect right here, or you can actually just go into all of the rest of the notifications and the different settings to where you'd be able to go to where it says Quick Connect. So what I'm going to do is I'll pull down my notifications bar, go to Quick Connect. What that does is it finds anything that is sitting in your exact Wi-Fi area to where you'd be able to share something quick. If it's another phone, if it's another tablet, whatever the case. And then if I go into where it says Play Content, this is where I can do videos, and I can choose a video that I want it to go to straight onto my TV, hit done, and then bam. So this is actually playing through the Xbox, for which if you had a TV that has Wi-Fi built on, then it would actually play on there as well too. Xbox, go to Xbox Video.